Now, so many people were shocked and saddened at the passing of a fantastic comedian, fantastic guy, Tony Slattery. He starred in a lot of stuff. Whose Line Is It Anyway? Many other things. And Tony had recently started a podcast called Tony Slattery's Rambling Club. And in tribute, that podcast was carried on. And now you've got the chance to go and see a live episode being recorded, all happening at Westbourne Hall in West Kirby on the 30th of August, with the special guest being Tony's late partner, Mark Hutchinson. Well, I'm thrilled to say Mark's with us today with the host of the podcast, Allan, Lear, and Paul Carmichael. Fellas, a very, very good morning to you.
Morning, you're right.
It's afternoon. It's been afternoon for a bit now. Yeah. How are you? Okay?
All good.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
Keeping well, thank you.
So let's start with you, lads, because you host a podcast. So just tell us briefly what the podcast is about. It was started with Tony, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. The idea for the podcast, because Tony, he was brilliantly funny, but he knew so much as well. You know, there wasn't a subject you couldn't give him that he couldn't talk about. So there's this thing called the Dewey Decimal System that all libraries use, and it's 999 different categories. So I got a bingo machine from Amazon, and then you get 3 numbers out of it, and the subject is generated from that, and it could be anything. Right. And the idea was that Tony with us, we would then just have a good old ramble, about anything that came out. And after we lost Tony, Mark very much wanted us to keep it going because Tony loved doing the podcast. So since then, we've kept it going with special guests. We've had Paul McGann, Eddie Marson. We've just had Helen Serafinowicz on.
She was on the show last week.
Oh, there we go. Our latest episode's got her in. And the subject came up of colour. And that turned into this discussion about how she actually writes Amandaland and Rooney's Ring and all that sort of stuff.
That's right.
So it's a really good way to it's not a normal chat show because you could talk about anything, but that freedom just allows people to go anywhere with it. So it's that, yeah.
She was laughing about telling me she made a Brother Peter audition.
She did, yeah. Yeah, that's right, yeah.
That's getting your own back, isn't it, for something he'd done in the past?
Yeah, she was saying she was watching him and going, "Oh, I don't know about your South African accent."
Yeah.
Not sure about this.
So have you lads been in comedy a lot of your life?
Well, I trained as an actor up at Manchester Metropolitan University, and then I've been a teacher for 20 years, teaching drama at the City of Liverpool College. And then, it was that chance to work with Tony. If someone said, "Do you want to work with Tony Slattery?" You're like, wow. But I don't know if any of us really expected to end up with him as someone who was a really close friend as well. He was such a warm person. The thing I always say that I miss about him is the hugs, because he'd give you these proper bear hugs like he meant it, every time he saw you. So for me, it was just the opportunity to work with him. It was just too much to turn down.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what about you, Allan? How did you get involved with this?
Well, we met Tony at the Edinburgh Fringe in 2017. It was my wife's 40th birthday. We went up to see him because he was doing Whose Line Is It Anyway on stage at the Fringe. And then we got talking to him in the bar afterwards. And it turned out that my wife knew Mark because Mark's from Wallasey originally, and they had friends in common. So we all kind of fell in together after that. And Tony enjoyed having silly conversations with me. So we ended up taking a couple of improv shows up to the Fringe and touring them around the country. We were in the middle of touring a show called Tony Slattery Resuscitated, which in hindsight was not the best possible title.
I know, we just became great friends through that, really, and sort of Allan, Eric and Paul, just great people to have around him, and they made him feel comfortable and safe. And he loved coming up here. He loved Merseyside because people are nice and kind. Yeah. And in fact, Tony and I were just about to move to Wallasey when he passed away. And I showed him the house a week before, and he loved it. He loved being in Liverpool and Merseyside anyway, because people are kind. They have time to say hello and smile and have a chat. And he would have. I just feel so sad he didn't get a chance to move up here with me. I just feel sad.
Where did you meet?
We both met when I was doing a musical called Me and My Girl in the West End, and Tony joined the show about a year later, and I was still in it. And it wasn't an instant attraction because I assumed he was straight because the dance club said, "Oh, he meets his fiancée for lunch every day." So fine. And I was just sort of wanted to be in my own place there at that time. And suddenly one day he looked at me a few seconds too long. And I just thought, why is this straight man looking at me like that? I thought, very odd. But then we met for tea one day and that was it. Inseparable since then, really. So 39 years.
I mean, the lad was saying there how clever he was. He was very well read, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he went to Cambridge and he would watch Mastermind and get a lot of questions right. I would watch The Chase and I'd beat him at that. But yeah, he was a great intellect and sort of, he knew a lot. Yeah.
I mean, I was saying before, I've got the full box set of the British version of Whose Line Is It Anyway, and he stands out.
Oh, yeah.
He stands out a mile.
Definitely. I remember when he first did it, he got this job, and I went along on a Sunday to watch it being recorded. I was terrified because improvisation isn't my world. I need a script and rehearsal. And I sat there amazed. I laughed a lot. And I was just astonished at his speed and his wit and his charm. He was absolutely brilliant. It seemed so easy for him. And so when we met Allan and Eric in 2017, he was doing Whose Line live in Edinburgh. Wow. And the audience thought, oh my gosh, Tony Slattery's back. And they gave him the hugest reception. And it was just lovely to see him back doing what he loved doing. And that's when we started doing improv with Allan and Erica. And the podcast was born, which Tony absolutely loved doing the podcast.
Wow.
Yeah.
How do you rehearse improv? How do you practice improv? I mean, I know you were saying there about getting the numbers and pulling them out and just going from there. But
That's it, isn't it? I mean,
is it something you can practice?
Yeah, well, you learn by doing. Yeah, it's something you practice just by doing improv. You know, that's why I think one of the things Tony liked about doing our little shows was that it helped him keep his hand in for when Whose Line, did an Edinburgh show or something. He'd still be match fit. He wouldn't have been off for a year. Yeah. So yeah, it's just all about staying, keeping doing it.
That's it, yeah. But with the Rambling Club, it was literally whatever numbers came out. It was like, okay, off we go. We didn't pause. There wasn't a break to say what should we talk about. It was straight into it. Most of the time it worked, but occasionally you might go a little bit off with it. But and it was fascinating because I think the very first recording we did, you could tell he was really quite nervous and hesitant. But by the time we got to the second recording, he was just full flow. Yeah.
Did you ever consider resting it after Tony sadly passed away, Mark?
Oh, yes, yeah. But he loved doing it so much. And I loved listening to it. I used to sit there and watch it being recorded with Erica. And we'd force ourselves not to laugh because it was so funny and interesting. And it was such a joy to do that when Paul and Allan said, look, can we keep it going with the guests? I thought, yeah, Tony would love that because it's just it's keeping his spirits alive.
Of course it is, it absolutely is. And his style, it's keeping his style alive. And there's, you know, it's a great homage to him, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. And Paul, Eric and Allan, they were his team. So they gave him such support. It's nice to keep it going.
No, I'm pretty sure you normally do in studios or at home or in booths, but live, is this a different thing for you?
We've not done this before.
It's going to be an interesting thing. I mean, we're going to have to get the bingo machine insured.
We are, yeah. It's we've not done anything like this. So we can't rehearse it. It's literally we turn up, and Mark's going to be with us as well. And Mark's we record a couple of episodes a month just for people who they subscribe on Patreon. So we're doing a bit of practice by doing them, but it just depends on what the machine comes out with and the audience as well. The audience can throw numbers at us as well, and see what we get from that, yeah.
Will you get a chance to speak about Tony on the night?
Yes, I think we'll be taking questions from the audience as well. So, and because it's very much in his spirit, people will be there to sort of celebrate Tony. So there will be lots of chat about Tony.
What made him so special?
He had a warmth and he just loved talking to people. So every show we used to do, for about an hour afterwards, people would queue up to talk to him and say how much they loved the documentary he did, What's the Matter with Tony Slattery, and they'd talk to him. And Tony would actually just take time to talk to each one individually. And he made people feel better when they talked to him. He was just a very warm, charming, caring chap.
And I think it's our loss as well that he doesn't live locally.
Yeah. And he would have loved it up here because he stayed quite a lot in Merseyside over the years with my brother and stuff. And he just loved coming up here because it's real life, it's real people. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Podcasts are huge now, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of competition. But, we've got a really loyal audience who tune in every week to see who we've got. And I think also what we've got is we've got this real variety of people who've said that they'll do it. So the next one, which is on Friday, we've got Paul Bradley, who plays Nigel in EastEnders.
Oh, right.
And he's got this big dementia storyline at the moment. So when he agreed to do it, we thought, that's amazing. But because of the way that the machine tells us what we can talk about, I think we ended up, was it landscape gardening?
Yeah.
We had to talk about, and then you're trying to say, can we talk about EastEnders somehow here? I think we managed a bit. But yeah, so they are huge, but normally if you listen to an interview show, you know what you're going to get. And I think sometimes you know the same stories that you're going to get from certain people. Yeah. So with this, they haven't got the chance to tell the same stories because it could be anything that comes up, you know.
What makes a great improvisator? Is that a word?
Improviser.
I added ATER there.
Over to Allan.
Well, I mean, Tony's the example, isn't he? Tony had basically three things that made him a great improviser. He was naturally very funny. He had a good comic mind. He was very clever, so he knew a lot about all kinds of subjects, which meant he could turn his hand to anything. The third thing, which is probably easier than the other two, is he was a people person. And he was generous in sharing a stage with people. So if somebody else had an idea, he was happy to take a step back and let them run with it. Yeah. So as you say, he did come across as the star of Whose Line Is It Anyway, but that wasn't from pushing him forward. That was just from his natural ability.
Yeah, the generosity that he got. And if you did something that made him laugh, he'd laugh and he'd tell you it was brilliant. He was always so open. Always, yeah.
That's nice, that, isn't it? It's unusual.
There was nothing like knowing that you'd made Tony Slattery laugh. That was just amazing, yeah.
Did you make him laugh, Matt?
I did.
Yeah.
I remember being in a restaurant with him once and sort of he spat out his fettuccine Alfredo. I didn't think I was being funny. I can't remember what I'd said. But we had the same sense of humour. Quite often we'd be in a theatre watching a play and we both bark with laughter at the same things that nobody else found funny. And we used to leave theatres at half-time sometimes because it just wasn't working for us. And so we had a very similar taste in things, which was great, yeah.
Other than comedy, what did he love? Obviously he was a reader. He must have been a massive reader.
He loved reading. He liked watching sort of good TV. So during lockdown, we watched Ozark on Netflix, which is astonishing. Yeah. And we'd scream at the TV. And a series called Mum with Leslie Manville was on, BBC sitcom, that made us roar with laughter and made us cry because it was so touching. Yeah. So if you haven't seen Mum on, I think it's BBC, it's the most beautiful two series of observational humour about normal people. And he liked talking with friends, going out for meals and just sort of... we had a small social life, but... Friends were very loyal. Friends were very loyal to Tony. They kept him close to their hearts. And that mattered a lot.
Mm-hmm. Do you think we're better at it now, improvisation? I mean, we had Peter Cook and Dudley Moore for a long time, didn't we? Of course, which we can't really go into too much. But you look at the likes of the original series of Whose Line Is It Anyway, the American series, Ryan Stiles and Greg Proops and Colin Mockery and all them people. They seem to be the main players over there, don't they?
Yeah. It was a different beast in America. Tony was asked to go over to America to do the series. But he was told that actually the games would actually be semi-rehearsed.
Really?
And so the musical games especially would be semi-rehearsed. And Tony said, well, that's not real improvisation, that's cheating. So he decided not to go because he thought, well, it's not real. If you're semi-rehearsing the games, you're cheating the audience, you're not doing things immediately. And he didn't agree with that.
No, didn't know that. Well, this is going to be fantastic. How many people are we talking about here? How many tickets have we got for sale?
Westbourne Hall, it's just 35.
That's it. It's only 35 tickets, yeah.
There's another show that's going on at the Edinburgh Fringe on the 18th, which is 250, and that's at the Assembly, George Square. But that's going to be partly the Rambling Club, but partly a big tribute to Tony. And we've got his old friends Richard Vranch and Mike McShane and some of his newer friends like Mitch Benn along for the ride. So we're hoping that will be a fitting. We're raising money for Mind from that one as well, the mental health charity, which was a big cause of Tony's.
Brilliant. That's going to be great. You'll have no trouble selling this out if you haven't already.
There's some tickets left, aren't there, I think, on the website?
Available from the website, www.tonyslattery.com.
Wow. And where can we hear the podcast normally?
Everywhere. So it's on Spotify, iTunes, Audible, absolutely everywhere. It's every Friday at 5 to 5 it goes out. And it's got little bits of format that you'll get to hear every time. Stephen Fry, when we started, he's recorded the narration. He's the voice of the bingo machine.
Really?
So you'll hear him every single week. A wonderful friend of mine, Michael Livesley, provides these noises that the bingo machine makes, which are very strange. So everywhere you might get a podcast from 5 to 5 every Friday.
What a voice he's got.
No.
He's like a trainee Brian Blessed, isn't he?
I'll take that.
It's enough to make you take up smoking.
Fellas, thanks so much for coming in. Great to see you.
Thank you.
Some great memories, of course, and so many more to be shared on the night as well over at West Kirby. Good luck with it, fellas.
Thank
Cheers,
you.
thank you.
Great to
Cheers.
meet you. Cheers.